Maryland basketball should beat Rutgers.
You are Locked On Terps, your daily podcast on the Maryland Terps. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, everyone? I'm Tre Moore, video content creator for 247 Sports and InsideMarylandSports.com, and host of Locked On Terps, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. So thank you for making us part of your day. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. New customers join today and you'll get $200 in bonus bet if your first bet of $5 or more wins. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn to get started. The Terps should beat Rutgers. The Maryland Terrapins take on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights today in action at 5:30 in Big Ten play to get back on track for their season after suffering that bad loss that we took against Michigan State on Saturday night last weekend. And I talked about it on the last podcast, but I was pretty disappointed in how we played. I thought that outside of Jameer Young, a lot of guys didn't show up. I thought we took a step back. I thought we went back to what we were doing at the beginning of the season. I talked about how it felt like the game against Villanova in ways where we couldn't score. It gave me reminiscence of UAB, of Davidson. It gave me different type of feelings of what we had done back in the season that I thought that we'd improved on, that I thought we had taken a step forward in, things that I thought we got better at. But now we have another shot against a Rutgers Scarlet Knights team to prove that that Michigan State loss was just a bump in the road, that we are still a much better team and we aren't what we used to be, and we have improved a lot. It's a chance to get back on track and get things back right against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, and we should win this game. That's what I want to emphasize. This Rutgers team isn't good. They're not a good team. There's no other reason for us to mess around with this and for me to kind of sugarcoat this and be like, they're better than we think they are. And yeah, maybe they are, but this Rutgers team isn't that good. And I'm allowed to say that. I don't play the games. I can say that they're not very good and kind of underestimate them, which I'm doing because I don't think the players are listening right now to what I have to say about Rutgers. At least I hope they're not. But they're not very good. So I'm not going to try and sugarcoat it to you guys. They're just not a very good team this year. They don't have a lot of talent right now. They're 12th in the Big Ten, bottom of the Big Ten. They're one of the worst teams in the Big Ten. They don't have a lot of oomph in their lineup. They don't have anything really special about them. There's nothing to that I was looking at that I was like, I'm scared of that. The Terps should win this game. The Terps should beat Rutgers, especially because it's at our place. The only teams they had beat in Big Ten play is Michigan, Nebraska, and Indiana. Nebraska and Indiana, I think, are solid teams. I feel like Indiana kind of has underperformed as a team. I think they have some really good talent, especially in the front court, especially with the Malik Renew kid and their other big man that they have. I think Indiana's kind of underperformed a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe their team isn't as good as I thought. But I think that the Nebraska and Indiana wins aren't bad wins at all. Michigan's not the best. That's their last win against Michigan. They're definitely feeling probably better about themselves after beating Michigan. But let's be honest, this Michigan team is even worse than Rutgers. They're probably the worst team in the Big Ten. They have a terrible record, the Michigan does. But they played well against Michigan. They had 3 guys score above 15 points, which is not normal for them. And the funny thing about it is that they beat Michigan while shooting 15.4% from 3, which is interesting. It's hard to win a game when you shoot 15% from the 3-point arc. But Michigan's not a very good team. So I don't want to be they beat Michigan. That's a big win for them. Whatever. They're still a Big Ten team. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to act like they're horrible. They're just not one of the better teams in the Big Ten, and they're not even a middle-of-the-pack team in the Big Ten. They're worse than us if you look at it in most categories. They are worse than us. But that win against Michigan definitely can up their confidence. They're probably feeling a lot better about themselves after beating Michigan. Michigan is 7-15. I don't want to stay in this place where I'm these two teams are horrible, it wasn't a good win. But they did beat the Michigan team. But I'm telling you, all it takes is a win like that, even against a team that's not particularly good, to get things rolling, to get things on track, to make things look better. And this Rutgers team really has nothing to lose at this point in the season. I'm not sure the Maryland team has anything to lose, but this Rutgers team really doesn't have anything to lose at this point. It's not like they were picked to finish top of the Big Ten. It's not like people thought they were going to be amazing coming into this year. So I don't think they have a lot to lose. So I think they're kind of just playing. They're just going out there. They're going to play hard. And you know what they say in sports? Some of the scariest teams you can play, some of the scariest teams that you can play against are the teams that have nothing to lose, the teams that can try different things, take different risks. And if it doesn't work, whatever, they were probably going to lose the game anyway. The team that has nothing to lose is the scariest team in sports. Think about in football when a team has nothing to lose. Maybe they'll try a fake punt, and maybe they won't get it, but maybe they will. That's why it's scary to play those type of teams. Maybe they'll get the fake punt. They'll go for a 4th and 5, and maybe an area that they're not supposed to, and maybe they won't get it, but maybe they will. It's scary to play a team like that. It's not as much in basketball. It's kind of hard to take those type of risks in basketball, but who knows? Maybe they put a full court press on us. I don't know what could happen, but they have nothing to lose, and I expect them to play like they have nothing to lose. Their season has been pretty bad so far, so it's not like they're about to go to the tournament. It's not like any of that, and so they really have nothing to lose. But does Maryland have anything to lose at this point? We're not a tournament team. After the loss to Michigan State, I don't want to talk about March Madness. Until we go on like a 5-game win streak, I might not bring it up. I'm bringing it up right now, but I might not bring it up after I talk about it right now. I don't think we're a tournament team. I don't think that we really have much of a shot at a tournament without some miraculous run. So maybe it's both teams don't have anything to lose, and that can be pretty scary as well. But being at home, the Terps should win this game. And I do want to talk about this a little bit, which I found kind of interesting about Rutgers. I'm sure some of you guys know, but this might be the last year of Rutgers, like us being able to easily beat them. Because Rutgers did this really cool thing this year in their 2024 class. They've won the best basketball 2024 classes. It's like kind of weird. It's kind of weird. But they brought in 2 5-stars in next year's class that are going to probably start right away and be their 2 best players probably right away. And they bring it. It's not like 2 5-stars. It's the two of the 3 best top 3 recruits in the country they bring in the 2024 class. Just pretty big time, which is pretty cool for them to bring in 2 top-notch type of talents like that in the 2024 class. So my point is, this Rutgers team isn't good right now, but next year we could look at them and be like, shoot, like they're pretty good. They're going to be pretty young, and I don't know how their coaches are going to do with that type of talent, and maybe they still won't be good. I'm not saying they're going to be amazing, but they're bringing in 2 5-stars. 2 of the top 3 recruits in the country are coming to Rutgers. I think it's like the number 2 and the number 3 player in Dylan Harper and this other guy, Bailey. So they're bringing in 2 5-stars that are really top-notch guys. So I thought that was interesting. I want to make sure I mention that this could be the last year that it's like Rutgers, like, their basketball team, it's like, like it feels like we should win this game in this type of game. So overall, they do bring in a top-notch recruiting class. But I think Maryland should win this game. Nobody on Rutgers really scares me. There's not a whole lot there, in my opinion. Nobody's averaging over 11 points per game. Nobody on the team is going to, like, drop 25 against us. I'm not really concerned about them that much. I think that the Maryland team should walk away with this win. We're better than them. We have a better record than them. If you go through the stats and some of the stuff, we're a better team than them. So overall, Maryland should win this game. And if we don't win this game, I don't really know what to say about the season. It's like, if we don't win this game, I don't even know if it's the biggest deal at this point. I don't know. I don't really know how to categorize this Maryland season yet with a loss like this against Rutgers. It would definitely hurt. It would definitely stink. And it wouldn't be a good loss to take. But I don't know what we're playing for at this point. I guess you play at the season, you play to win overall, but it's still, you kind of want to feel, as a fan at least, you want to feel like your team is playing for something. You kind of want to have that in the back of your mind. You want to still feel like you have a chance to make the tournament. You feel like you have a chance to win a Big Ten championship. Like, you kind of want to feel like that. But overall, it's hard for me to kind of say what exactly Maryland is playing for, except for pride at this point. A tournament bid, I don't want to say is like impossible, but it's close to impossible unless they do something crazy. But a Rutgers team like this, Maryland basketball should win. How do the Terps actually win this game? I will tell you about that after this ad from eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience is what brings home the winning trophy and is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. From superchargers, roof racks, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride or die every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. How do the Terps win this game? I will tell you that right now. Number one thing, defense. Defense will win this game. We should clamp them, a word that is kind of popular in the basketball community. Clamp them. They shouldn't be able to score against us. We should be able to rile them up offensively, to make them think twice about everything offensively. We should be able to win this game on defense. They shouldn't be able to do much offensively. As a team, they average 66 points per game, which isn't high. It's pretty low. That includes some of their non-conference matchups. That includes some of the games where they'll put up 80 against somebody that's really bad. This team cannot score against good defenses. And guess what Maryland does? We play really, really good defense. If there's one thing that we've done this year that has been somewhat consistent, that has been one of the best units in the country defensively, if you look at the statistics on KenPom, is defense. And we can beat this Rutgers team purely on defense. They shouldn't be able to score. This team is bad offensively. And if you want some reference between what 66 points per game, what that means, because you're unsure, because I had to look at some reference for exactly where that falls. I knew it was low, but I didn't know exactly how low it was. Think about how poor Maryland is offensively. Think about how bad we have been offensively at times this year and how we have struggled, how we could barely score against Villanova. We could barely score against certain teams. We could barely score against their last game against Michigan State. Think about how bad we have been offensively and how bad of a shooting team we have been at certain points this year. Rutgers scores less points than us per game. We average around 70 points per game compared to Rutgers averaging only 66. So only is a 4-point difference, but that's definitely a decent amount of a difference to say there's a gap between us. So I think we have clamped some of the better offenses in the entire country. We have played really good defense at certain points. We destroyed Rutgers on the defensive side of the ball. We have destroyed some teams on the defensive side of the ball while they're on offense. Teams don't like playing against us. I guarantee it, because we're probably annoying to play defensively. And that's our identity right now. And that's what Kevin Willard has really built his house on this year, is the defense side of the ball for Maryland. So I don't think Rutgers will be able to score against us very well, but I think Maryland wins this game on defense. And Rutgers also doesn't shoot the ball particularly well. They shoot 28% from three. Again, for reference, Maryland, think about us. We're a bad shooting team. We've been a bad shooting team all year. We shoot 29% from three, which is 1% better, but it's still better than what they have. And I was looking through some of their guys. It's there's no guy on that team that's oh my gosh, they can shoot the ball. Okay, Maryland, I'm not going to say we exactly have that, but if you look at their percentages, it's really nobody's above 31% at plays. They cannot shoot the ball. They're not going to shoot the ball particularly well. They're a worse shooting team than us. So I think Maryland wins this game on defense and forcing them to make shots. Julian Reese, let's move on to the next category. Julian Reese, no foul trouble, and it's an obvious one. It's an obvious key that I'm going to say every single game until I stop seeing him commit so many fouls that are unnecessary, that are going to keep him from playing. like the last game against Michigan State where he had 5 fouls overall, where he had 3 in the first half and he was in foul trouble and he plays only 14 minutes. Talked about it yesterday. Julian Reese cannot be in foul trouble. The game against Michigan State, 14 minutes from Julian Reese. 14 minutes from Julian Reese. Do you think we're going to win the game like that? And let me tell you, that's a way for Rutgers to stay in this game and for Rutgers to win this game, is for Julian Reese to be in foul trouble. I think that's on the scout. Attack him early on. Put him in pick play. Attack him on defensive side of the ball. Try and draw fouls against Julian Reese. Because when he's out the game, we're a different team. And when he can't get into rhythm, he needs a little bit to get in the rhythm into the game. And then once he gets into the rhythm, he plays really well. But when he's only playing 14 minutes, he's not efficient with the 14 minutes he plays. Last game against Michigan State with the 14 minutes, two turnovers and 2 points. He needs to play a good amount to see that full production of him. It's not like he's going to be efficient while he's gone. And he can't play aggressive when he's in foul trouble as well. He's got to learn how to play aggressive without fouling. He needs to learn how to play good defense without fouling. Because if he's in foul trouble, it completely changes the complexion of the game. And I don't think it's crazy to think that there's a real possibility that he could be in foul trouble. I think there's a 40-60% chance for Julian Reese to be in foul trouble is the way I look at it. I think Rutgers stays in the game if Julian Reese is in foul trouble. If he plays 20 minutes, I'll say, then we're in trouble. And Rutgers could beat us. They could beat us. They could beat the Maryland Terrapins team for sure. So keeping Julian Reese out of foul trouble is huge, and getting him back on track is obviously big. And then another one that we always talk about, but it happened against Michigan State again. Someone outside of Julian Reese has to do something. Someone besides Julian Reese has to do something. We have seen this now almost every single game, it feels like. Julian Reese, and then there's usually one other guy that kind of does something that kind of sprinkles and plays kind of well, but it's always Julian Reese plays poorly. Jameer Young plays well, and then one other player will play okay. It'll either be Julian Reese or Dante Scott or someone like that will play decent, and then the rest of the team doesn't do anything. The rest of the team will combine for 10 points. That's what it was against Michigan State. So we're going to need someone outside of Jameer Young. He has done his time. He has done enough for this team, and I'm sure he wants to do more. But you have to do someone else besides Julian Reese to win this game. I think you have to do that. I think that's the key to this game. And to be honest, I'll talk about my predictions in a little bit. We probably can win this game with just Jameer Young going off. But I'm going to need Jameer Young to play well, obviously, but I'm going to need other guys to step up. It doesn't have to be a ton. I'm just talking about 1 or 2. I don't think against this Rutgers team. I think it's a Michigan State team or Purdue, it's different. Your whole team has to step up. Against this Rutgers team, I just need 1 or 2 guys Dante Scott to continue to play well, maybe Julian Reese to play well. If you have 3 guys that play well, I think we win the game overall. But I think that Jameer Young needs help. Don't keep it close. Don't let Rutgers sniffle around. If you let them keep it close, if you let them kind of just stay in striking distance to keep the game close and keep it from one mistake away from them winning the game or them being 1 point ahead of us or whatever it is, don't let Rutgers do that, because this team, like I said, they have nothing to lose. They have nothing that they're going to go home about and be we lost to Maryland at this point in the season. You just can't let them think that they can win the game, because that's when they can really win the game, and don't let it be close. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's close, to be honest. I kind of think it'll be close, but you can't let them stick in the game. And I think that's the key to win. I think Julian Reese can't be in foul trouble. Jameer Young needs some help, and the defense is going to win the game. What will actually happen? What are my predictions? I will tell you about that after this ad from FanDuel. Happy Super Bowl to all who celebrate from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. If you're like me, Super Bowl Sunday is all about scoring the best seat on the couch, grabbing your favorite football snacks, and placing some super bets. I love Super Bowl Sunday. It's a great time with your family, your friends. It's a great time. There's cool commercials. Obviously, the food is great, wings, pizza, whatever you want. Super Bowl Sunday is like a holiday. It's always one of the best days of the year. Not only can you bet on who will win Super Bowl 58, but FanDuel also has bets for which players will score a touchdown, how many points will be scored, and so much more. New customer join today and you'll get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to sign up. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. What will happen in this game? What are my predictions for this game against this talented, okay Rutgers team? What do I think will happen against the bottom of the Big Ten, this Rutgers Scarlet Knights team? I think the Maryland Terrapins win, and I don't want to jinx it, but we should win this game. Like I said earlier, the Terps should win this game. It shouldn't be a sweat either. I don't think it should come down to the line. Maybe if we're not playing well enough offensively, it could, but I think we should win this game by okay, maybe it's kind of close. It's fake close. You know, a fake close basketball game, a game that's we know they're not going to win, but they'll foul here at the end of the game. I'm saying we should win by 7, 8, 9 points probably, I think. I don't know exactly what the spread would be for this game. It hasn't come out yet. My best guess, it's kind of fun to guess what the spread will be. My best guess, Maryland at home against Rutgers, probably 6.5 points, I would guess. That's probably my guess against this Rutgers team. Maybe more, maybe less. I don't know exactly, but that's my best guess. I could be off. I could be way off, but that seems about right to me. But I don't think Rutgers can score enough. Like I said, they don't have anyone on their team that scares me, really, to be honest. And I think that when you don't have one guy that can get a bucket, it really hurts. Yeah, it's nice to have some balance in their lineup. They have a couple of guys that average 10, but that doesn't scare anyone. And then you don't know who's going to be on. And we know Jameer Young's going to be on. Outside of that, we don't know who's going to be on. But we know Jameer Young can drop 25, 30 points, which in college is almost half of the points that you're going to score. So overall, you don't have a guy that you can completely depend on. I think that's scary again when you're playing this Maryland defense overall. So I do think Maryland will win, and I think we have by far the best player in the game. Jameer Young, he averaged double the amount that anybody on their team averages. So it won't matter. I think even if we're a little bit Jameer Young dependent in this game, I think it won't matter. I think maybe, like I said, one or two guys would have to step up. But I think that Jameer Young will play well in this game, and I think that he'll drop probably 25, 30 points. He might not even have to score that much against this team, but I think we should win this game. I don't want to underestimate Rutgers, but I do think we should win this game overall. And I think Julian Reese rebounds and plays well. He usually rebounds after a bad game, so I do think that he'll rebound and help us get this win. That's all we have for today. Thank you for listening to Locked on Terps. Make sure you like and subscribe. We're here every day talking Maryland football and basketball, so make sure you like and subscribe. But thank you for listening to Locked on Terps.